Thank you everyone for coming to the presentation on local government decision making for single houses and the changes that are being made through the Planning and Development Amendment Bill 2023. My name is Elise Saraceni. I am the Director of Reform Delivery, and today I'm going to talk you through those changes. So in today's session, we will look at some background and overview to the reforms. Then we'll look at the changes that are actually being made through the Planning and Development Act, and then the supporting changes that are being made to the deemed provisions, and these are known as the LPS Amendment Regulations number 3. So some background to the reform. The WA Government's Action Plan for Planning Reform includes an initiative relating to development assessment processes being more streamlined and outcomes focused. As part of these reforms, there were some initial reforms to the DAP system in 2020 and also some changes to the R codes and the deemed provisions, which actually exempted more simple proposals from requiring development approval. This has been complemented by the release of the National Planning Reform Blueprint earlier this year. All states and territories have signed up to this, and it's been endorsed by National Cabinet. This National Planning Reform Blueprint relates to the role that planning and reform of the planning system can play in helping the housing crisis and the housing supply issues. It includes 10 key points relating to housing supply targets, streamlining of approval pathways, improving building quality, improving community consultation, and adequately resourcing built environment professionals, including planners in local government. The Amendment Bill 2023 was introduced to Parliament on October 18. It has now passed through the Legislative Assembly and will be debated in the Legislative Council in the coming weeks. The bill includes 12 parts and 4 key components: the significant development pathway and DAP reforms, information on local government roles and responsibilities on decision making on development applications for single houses, reform of the WAPC, and other reforms to streamline processes. There are also various supporting new regulations and regulation amendments and guidance documents which will complement the bill. They are what you see on the screen now. So there is 4 sets of amendments to regulations or new regulations, and 1 applicant's guide for the draft significant development pathway. The Planning and Development Amendment Regulations 2023 number 3 are the changes to the deemed provisions which relate to these changes to the Act, and we'll talk about that in further detail later on through the presentation. These changes are being consulted on until the 31st of January next year. The proposed changes to the Act are the introduction of a new Section 257C. This provides a regulation making ability, and these regulations may prescribe the development approval functions of the local government, specify that for certain types of single house development, these functions are to be undertaken by the CEO of the local government or employees authorised by the CEO, and deal with other matters relating to the performance of these functions, the authorisation of LG employees, and any supplementary or incidental matters. The meat of the changes is actually in the deemed provisions, and the changes to the deemed provisions identify the development approval functions. So that is effectively any decision from lodgement to the decision making and things that occur post-decision, such as compliance, any decision relating to a DA. They also define the type of development that these regulations apply to. This will be known as prescribed single house development. And prescribed single house development is what you see on the screen there. So it's a new or alteration and additions to an existing single house. Any development associated with a single house, such as patios, boundary walls, fences, garages, or carports. And it excludes this part from applying to a heritage protected place. So that's any house on the state or local register or in a heritage area. The changes to the deemed provisions also outline that these development approval functions for prescribed single houses must be done by the CEO of the local government or employees authorised by the CEO, And they also outline that such decisions cannot be subject to the direction of the council. So they are to be decisions that are made independently by the administration. They also outline the provisions relating to the authorisation of employees of who can perform those development approval functions. The intent of the proposed changes is to reduce unnecessary red tape and assist with the delivery of housing by providing a streamlined and consistent process for how single house developments are dealt with across the state, and to enable the council to focus on strategic planning and ensuring that their local planning frameworks are contemporary and fit for purpose. The next steps are to consider any feedback that we receive on the draft regulatory amendments, finalise the regulations, and get ready for proclamation and implementation, which is likely to be the 1st of July 2024. If you have any further questions on this or need any further detail, please contact us at planningreform@dplh.wa.gov.au. Thank you.